But they are. For Nazis are really left-wing, ladies and gentlemen. A radical group in the greater Philadelphia area to attend a mass demonstration to confront the Ku Klux Klan and Nazis at Independence Hall. You see, if they all really knew the definition of these terms that they banner about, they'd join forces and they'd be a lot stronger. Oh, the world is full of fools. I sit back and I watch all of this. And I alternately laugh and cry and laugh and cry. All the ingredients, ladies and gentlemen, were there for a serious, very serious riot. A riot brought about in its entirety by the Anti-Defamation League and the Jewish Defense League, organizing and manipulating both sides, filing for the permit, urging violence, attempting to get people to blow up a bridge. But fortunately, ladies and gentlemen, this was one time, the word of Levy's scam on the Park Service leaked out to the Philadelphia press after one Philadelphia newspaper ran a banner headline saying, quote, "Nazi rally rouser really Jewish," end quote. And you can check on it yourself, by the way. The Park Service yanked the permit. Levy's Anti-Defamation League handlers ordered him to lay low for a while. I wonder why. After all, there was no need to jeopardize Levy or even Rosenberg's standing as professional agents provocateur inside the racist element of the 1/1000th of 1% of the population of this country who aren't even half as dangerous as these ADL, JDL terrorist agents of a foreign nation spying on American people, blowing up organizations and offices and killing and maiming people in the United States of America. None of you even knew about it. The ADL, of course, had plenty of other aces up their sleeves, and not all of them were Jewish infiltrators. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, the ADL and the JDL and B'nai B'rith are not the Jews. It is a branch, the Jewish branch, of the ages-old Illuminati controlled by the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. And out of all the Jews in this country, only a handful belong. One of the most shocking instances of racist violence during the civil rights battles in the South of the United States during the 1960s was the execution-style murders of 3 civil rights workers in Philadelphia, Mississippi in 1964. And now you're going to hear what really happened. The murders of Andrew Goodman, Robert Cheney, and Mitchell Schwerner sent shockwaves across America and the world as many people began to realize for the first time that the Confederacy, far from being dead, was very much alive and very much committed to rolling back the tide of equal rights for all races, at least in the Deep South. True to its historical roots in the southern jurisdiction of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry and in the original Confederate secessionist plot, the Anti-Defamation League, contrary to its own published propaganda, and that's exactly what it is, propaganda, lined up squarely with the Klan, the Ku Klux Klan, where it counted the most, with its checkbook. One particularly sordid instance of collusion between the Anti-Defamation League and the Ku Klux Klan came to light in a hail of bullets on the night of June 30th, 1968, in Meridian, Mississippi, outside the home of ADL official Meyer Davidson. When the smoke cleared, a local school teacher named Kathy Ainsworth lay dead, and a second man, Thomas A. Terrens III, lay dying after being hit with over 70 bullets, ladies and gentlemen, fired by 22 local police and FBI agents. Shades of Waco. Miraculously, Terrence survived the attack. Terrence and Ainsworth, both local Ku Klux Klan members, had been set up. They went to Davidson's home, ladies and gentlemen, that night to plant a bomb on his doorstep, not knowing that the leader of their own Ku Klux Klan chapter had betrayed them, and that a small army of police and FBI sharpshooters was waiting in the bushes to ambush them. Right after this short break, I'll tell you who planned it and who brought it about. The entire affair, ladies and gentlemen, had been staged by the Anti-Defamation League. That's right. The entire affair had been staged by the Anti-Defamation League, the agent provocateur inside the local Ku Klux Klan chapter who set up Terrence and Ainsworth was one of the killers of Goodman, Cheney, and Schwerner. Alton Wayne Roberts was out on bail awaiting his trial along with 6 other members of the White Knights of the Ku Klux Klan for the Philadelphia, Mississippi murders, when in the early spring of 1968 he cut a deal with the Anti-Defamation League's regional director, Adolph Botnick. The New Orleans-based Botnick had been a long-standing friend of the late Guy Bannister. Kennedy assassination. The former FBI special agent implicated by District Attorney Jim Garrison in the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Botnick, with the blessings of Meridian-based FBI Special Agent Frank Watts and Meridian Police Detective Luke Scarborough, agreed to pay Alton Wayne Roberts and his brother, Raymond Roberts, $69,000 to become the League's paid agents provocateur. $25,000 in unmarked $20 bills was hand-delivered from New Orleans to the Roberts brothers just days before the Ainsworth-Terrence ambush. At the time the deal was struck, the White Knights, led by the 2 Roberts brothers, had been on a 9-month bombing spree. 9-month bombing spree. And you thought poor old David Koresh was a bad guy. You stupid sheeple. You need to be sheared. You need to be led to the slaughter. You need your asses kicked. You need to wake up quick. You wonder why I get angry behind this microphone. Sometimes I wonder why I'm behind this microphone. A 9-month bombing spree. The brothers were prime suspects in 10 separate acts of racist violence. In addition to the Philadelphia murders, 3 of these attacks were directed against synagogues and Jewish leaders in Mississippi. Do you understand, folks? It's not the Jews. The Jews are being lied to. They're being manipulated just like all of you are. Are you beginning to understand how it works? 3 of these attacks were directed against synagogues and Jewish leaders in Mississippi. And they huddled in their little self-made ghettos and pointed their fingers at the community who had nothing to do with it and yelled, "Anti-Semitism, the Nazis are coming to get us." And you're so proud of your level of education. You should be ashamed of yourselves, all of you. The Roberts brothers, as per their deal with Botnick, ordered 2 of their Klan underlings to deliver the bomb to Davidson's home. They then tipped off the FBI and the local police about the exact time the attack would occur. In return for their continuing services to the ADL after the Davidson incident, the brothers were given slap-on-the-wrist sentences and placed in the FBI's witness protection program. And for his part in the Goodman, Cheney, and Schwerner murders, Alton Wayne Roberts spent less than 3 years in jail and is again very active with you-know-who. The Meridian incident was classic Anti-Defamation League, classic Hegelian conflict method of political resolution. The League used the racist attack against Meyer-Davidson as a scare tactic fundraising ploy. And the Jews filled their coffers, emptied their pockets, and asked the same people who had attacked them to protect them, using their own money. The money they raised more than covered the costs of buying up the two KKKers as their permanent agents provocateur inside the Klan. The League parlayed their financing of the Roberts brothers into an ever closer relationship with the FBI, which was delighted to have the ADL finance and deploy two of the Klan's most violent terrorists. When you begin to study the Waco massacre, you'll find that David Koresh spent time in Israel, that he and some of his fathers were trained by the JDL in infantry tactics, that he attended classes on the Talmud, that he was surrounded by Mossad and ADL agents and JDL personnel. You will find that the original reports from the foreign source quoted in the first press report that they were going to commit mass suicide came from prominent ADL members in Australia. You people better wake up. You better do it fast. Koresh in the Hebrew language means Cyrus. David, of course, the house of David, the famous king of Israel. Cyrus was the one who freed the Jews from Babylonian captivity. David, Koresh, flew the Star of David on the flagpole above what was called Mount Carmel. He claimed that he held the keys to the seven seals in the book of Revelation. Poor, brainwashed, mind-controlled, manipulated David Koresh. On the day in November 1985 that Israel spy Jonathan J. Pollard was arrested, things went haywire at the Anti-Defamation League's headquarters near United Nations Plaza in New York City. National Chairman Kenneth Bailkin immediately flew off to Israel to assess the damage and to make arrangements for the appropriate American attorneys to be brought in to represent not only the jailed spy but the other more senior players in the nominally Israeli spy ring. Were you aware that the headquarters of B'nai B'rith and the ADL is in the same building occupied by the Trilateral Commission? Among the most important of those senior players was Colonel Aviam Sella, an Israeli Air Force war hero who had been Pollard's recruiter on behalf of the secret Israeli techno-spy unit, Lekim. Sella's cover for his spy recruiting was that he was in the United States taking graduate courses at New York University, and Sella's wife Ruth, a practicing attorney, reportedly was working on the staff of the ADL's legal department while the couple lived in New York. Any published links between the ADL and the Pollard spy apparatus could naturally prove very, very damaging, especially in light of the cozy relationship the League was enjoying with the Reagan White House at the time. You see, while still in Israel, Bailkin telephoned fellow ADL man Leonard Garment of the politically powerful law firm of Dickstein Shapiro. Garment was then the personal lawyer for United States Attorney General Edwin Meese. He agreed at Bailkin's urging to represent Sella in the Pollard matter, despite the obvious severe conflict of interest. What an understatement. At the ADL's Washington, D.C. office, Myra Lansky Boland. Myra Lansky